So artistically, then, as a lighting artist, what would you say is top 3 things as a lighting artist to do
My first
artistically?
thing would be to know how light works in real life. You have to, because being a lighting artist for video games or for 3D animation is just mimicking what Mother Nature does. So if you know how light works in real life, you will know how to use light inside an engine. You will understand what is GI, what are light bounces, what is, for example, light intensity, why does light bounce more off of a white wall than a dark blue wall, for example? Why does my character appear blue if I put a blue sheet against him, because light bounces on it and it is blue? So you will have to understand how light works in real life to be better at lighting. And one very good way to do that is photography or cinematography. If you have a camera or just a pretty good smartphone, any high-end smartphone right now is able to produce really good images. If you have a smartphone that can, where you can change all of the settings like the ISO, the shutter speed, etc., use it to help you understand how camera work, and you will be able to produce better things inside the engine or inside the rendering application that you're using.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have a pretty good camera, but the R9 lighting system that I have, the LED light, if I turn on my camera and I try and take photos, it looks like it's on drugs because it starts flickering and it goes crazy. It can't handle the light for some weird reason. So it's not that good in terms of this type of lighting. Actually, it handles the ring light very well. Some of my shots are really good, but the minute I started experimenting with that, no, I don't know. I was like, where's my DSLR camera? I need it to practice some more. But it's totally true. There's no excuse not to learn it. So that's definitely good advice.
And even if you like, at least in France, when we are in high school, we have physics lessons about how light works. Like the reflectiveness of a material, the bouncing of the lights, the bouncing of the photons of the light, etc.
If you pay attention,
you can use all the knowledge of it in lighting, because it's virtual. It doesn't mean that it's not linked to reality, because what is very amazing about Unreal Engine 5 right now, and why are we all lighting artists very hyped about Unreal Engine 5, is just we can finally, for real, do some real-time stuff that looks like and that works like in real life. Like, for example, bounce cards. We couldn't do bounce cards in real time before Unreal Engine 5. You had to bake the lighting. You had to use a spot and a white plane to bounce the light and create your bounce card. But right now, with Unreal Engine 5, you can actually create real-time bounce cards. And this is something huge. This is something amazing. And
so you can finish, and then I have a follow-up question to that before you.
This is why some of the cinema industry is using Unreal Engine right now. Like, for example, The Mandalorian, the latest real-life TV show from Disney, is using Unreal Engine instead of using green screen, because the power of the engine allows even the cinema industry to produce tremendous images, because we have the power and the technology to do it.
Cool. So I have now 2 questions, but I'll ask one question. So you mentioned the bounce card, which I'm not going to assume everyone understands it, but you gave a quick example. But when would you use a bounce card that you just gave a quick example for people who don't know about it?
Like if you have an interior scene and you want more light coming from the windows, but you don't want to use lights that are casting shadows directly inside the room, to avoid the sharp shadows that are inevitable in lighting before ray tracing and lumen in Unreal Engine 5, we would have a lot of real-time shadows, and they are very sharp. And if you turn off the shadows, you can have light leaking inside your environment. So having like a spotlight or a rectangle light bouncing off a white plane or white cube outside of your scene that you hid at runtime could help you getting all these soft shadows, the diffused lighting coming from outside of your environment without having the video game look, like the sharp shadows, no bouncing light, etc.